Nahmaduhu wa nusalli ala rasulil kareem. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Inna kafayna kal mustaqim. Dear brothers and sisters, today I am going to discuss a very important topic which is related to the concept of human rights prevailing in the modern era. In the modern era, we are listening about the concepts of mutual coexistence, we are listening about the concept of tolerance, we are listening about the concepts of freedom of expression, we are listening about the concept of freedom of thinking, freedom and a choice to live, and similarly we are constantly listening from the Western thinkers that the Muslims are extremists, they are terrorists, they are not having tolerance in them, and this propaganda is many times being listened in the East, and this propaganda is on air from their media too. I want to clarify one thing, that whenever the Western thinkers are talking about the concept of freedom of expression, whenever they are talking about the freedom of choice of life, they have double standards. They allow a girl to move without dress or with a posture that is not acceptable in the East, and they think that it is a freedom of choice and she cannot be stopped from doing so. But whenever a girl, Muslim girl, a practicing Muslim girl, she is demanding hijab for her in France, she is demanding hijab for us for her in Denmark, she is being accused of following a terrorist mode of life, and they are allowing homosexuality, they are allowing sodomy, and saying that it is a way of life and nobody can be stopped from his choice of life. But whenever a Muslim is keeping a beard and he is wearing a turban, he is being accused that he is a terrorist. And similarly, we can observe this fact that in the city of Jakarta, in the city of Kuala Lumpur, in the city of Lahore, in the city of Karachi, and many more cities of the Muslims, the big churches of Christians are present there, and the cross is also prevalent on them. But whenever Muslims are trying to build a mosque in the Western countries, they are being accused that they are not allowed to do so because their mosque for them is a symbol of terrorism. And it is very much evident that in the near past, in the country of Switzerland, the minarets of mosques were being banned just for on the basis of the assumption that these minarets were a challenge for the sovereignty and integrity of Switzerland. So Westerns are keeping a double standards, and they are constantly defaming Muslims that they are not having tolerance. Everything can be bearable, and even Muslims are able to digest these harsh attitude of the Westerns. But one thing which is not bearable by the Muslim is that Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, which is the most respectable person in the eyes of the Muslim, he is constantly being ridiculed by the Western nations in the near past, Norway, and similarly Sweden, and similarly Denmark. They are constantly motivated many reporters and the print media to print the cartoons of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And I think so that nobody who is having some senses can accept this very attitude. If I am abusing the mother of someone, if I am abusing the father of someone, if I am abusing some sacred person of some belief, and then I am saying that it is my freedom to do so, no sensible person will be accepting my this quotation or my this assumption. He will be saying that I am senseless and I have lost my senses. How can someone allow me or permit me that I am abusing his mother, I am abusing his father? And Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is more dear to us. He is the dearest person in our life. We cannot even compare our mothers and fathers with our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So it is a matter of pity that the Western nations, they are constantly motivating the negative sentiments in the Muslims, and they are igniting this thing, igniting the feeling of hatred among the Muslim. And it is really very sad on the part of the Western nation that they are all doing so in the name of the freedom of expression. I think so that when Holy Mary was ridiculed by the Jews, it was the Holy Quran who refuted the allegation of Jews on the Holy Mary, and the verse of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was revealed in the Holy Quran, وَبِكُفْرِهِمْ وَقَوْلِهِمْ عَلَى مَرْيَمَ بُهْتَانًا عَظِيمًا, that all the allegations on the Holy Marys, they were baseless. Indeed, the Holy Mary was a virgin woman with a noble character, and she has nothing to do with the corruption. When the attitude of Muslims is like this, Christians should also respect the Muslims, and Jews should also respect the Muslims. And I am at this moment, when very sad incident is going to take place, that on the 20th of May, a very well-known website or web page, Facebook, is going to celebrate the Dra Muhammad Day. I will appeal all my Muslim brothers and sisters that they should boycott those ways, those channels who are going to ignite the feeling of hatred among Muslims, who are being prejudiced at this very moment, who are going to ridicule the holiest person on this globe. And it is very much evident from the remarks of the thinkers of the every religion that Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam was indeed a very great man in the human history, and according to the saying of the Michael Hart, he was among the leader of those 100 people of the history who were able to lead whole of the humanity. He was indeed the noblest person in the history of humanity. And I think so that if even they are not ready to accept His Holiness, even if they are not ready to accept Him as a prophet, and even that if they are not ready to accept Him as a messenger, even then, if they want to establish an environment of mutual coexistence, if they want to establish an environment of peace and love, they should at least care and consider the emotions of Muslims which are constantly being hurt by their attitude which they are exhibiting in the name of freedom of expression. And I will appeal all my brothers, all my sisters, that they should boycott the Facebook on 20th of May on Dra Muhammad Day, and we shall convey and we should tell the Western nation that it is not feasible, that you are disgracing our holy prophet, you are humiliating him, you are ridiculing him. Indeed, he was an asset for humanity. And if you want a mutual environment of mutual coexistence, environment of peace, environment of inter-religion debate, inter-religion dialogue, you should prove that you have some human values, you have some moral standards. And if you will do so, inshallah, I will think so that in the future we can have inter-religious dialogues, we can have inter-religious debate in a peaceful way. Otherwise, we cannot give guarantee to the globe that there can be peace, there can be love, when we are hitting our house, when you are humiliating us, when you are ridiculing us, and then you are demanding from us tolerance and peace. I think so that you are going against the human values, against the human psychology, against the human sentiments. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give tawfiq to the Western thinkers and Western nations that they are considering and caring about the sentiments of Muslim, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give courage to the Muslim brothers and sisters that they are boycotting and they are reflecting that they have love for Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. And I can say at this very moment that the love of Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam is not only prevalent in those Muslims who are practicing, this love is prevalent even in the heart of those who are drunkard. It is even present in the heart of those who are not leading a very, very practicing life. So when every Muslim is loving Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, then the people who are above, who are more than 1 billion in number, their sentiments should be cared and their sentiments should be considered. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give wisdom to all the people living on this globe, that they are respecting each other and they are considering the emotions of each other. Wa akhiru da'wana alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin.